This week we say goodnight to Blackest Night, go to war with battlefields, and interview the writer of Dr. Horrible and the Terminator, Zack Whedon. Hello? Hello? We could use some light in here. Geoff Johns continues his historic run on Green Lantern, writing the epic cross-company event Blackest Night, with art by, hey, didn't we already do this gag before? I mean, the same thing? Green Lantern, Blackest Night, Geoff Johns? What's so different about this time?
Arg.
Zoinks! Both DC Comics and Marvel have been hitting us hard with crossover events for the last decade. Between all the crises, wars, sieges, and reigns, a fan can feel pretty worn out. But just when you think you've seen it all, writer and newly appointed Chief Creative Officer of the DC Universe, Geoff Johns, and his art team astound us with Blackest Night. What started out as a simple zombie superhero story has so many shocks, twists, and oh hell yeah moments that it's hard to believe that Johns can ever top it. The only problem is that each issue is so packed that it moves too fast. Artist Ivan Reis also crams a lot of detail into each panel. His character work stands out as always, but ironically, backgrounds and locations can be a bit black and vague. Though again, we blame the story for jumping around. Finally, special kudos goes to colorist Alex Sinclair, who had his work cut out for him, literally delivering the full spectrum, as well as great ink work by Auclair Albert and Joe Prado. The last issue comes out today, but the series is already a home run. Some of it may go over your head if you're not a regular DC reader, but for superhero lovers, Blackest Night is a shining example of what epic event comics should be. We give it 5 oranges out of 5. Also out this week, Garth Ennis continues his examination of war in the Dynamite-published Battlefield series. It's solid work as always, but no new ground is really covered here. It gets 3 oranges. From IDW comes Tank Girl: The Royal Escape. Artist Rufus Dayglow captures the style of Jamie Hewlett, who co-created the series with Alan Martin, preserving the punky madcap sex and violence feel. It also gets 3 oranges. And the latest issue of Tim Seeley's Hack Slash comes out this week, one of the last few issues with Devil's Due Publishing before it jumps to Image Comics. The quality of the story and art has been up and down over the years, so we give it 2.5 oranges out of 5. This week we're at Meltdown Comics in West Hollywood, California, to interview the writer of Dr. Horrible and the Terminator, Zack Whedon. So when does the Terminator storyline take place?
It takes place in 2029, which is the year that Kyle Reese makes the jump back to 1984. So the comic starts in the weeks preceding his jump.
Kyle Reese is the central character. How did you go about really getting into that character?
Well, I watched that first movie over and over again to sort of really nail down what concrete things he tells you about his life, which isn't much. But one of the things is that, you know, he's never been in love with anyone. Sarah Connor is really his first and last love. From that, I imagined a guy who just dedicated himself to protecting people and helping people survive and being a soldier as a way to keep his mind away from the enormous tragedy that's surrounding them every day.
Were you a fan of the Terminator series before you did this?
Yes, I'm a huge Terminator fan. Those first 2 movies I think are near perfect, and I remember specifically seeing Terminator 2, I think I was 10 or 11 when that came out, and getting on the phone with my brother and staying on the phone for like an hour talking about every tiny little thing in the movie, and I'm a big fan.
You're from a long line of screenwriters.
Yes.
How has family influenced your decision to become a writer?
Well, I think coming from a lot of writers, it just sort of seemed like where I was going. You know, I think for a lot of people, pursuing a creative profession is a bigger leap of faith. But everyone in my family being a writer, it didn't seem like a crazy idea. So I just sort of fell into it very easily.
So you didn't have to sit down with them and say, Mom, Dad, I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they said, son, you have to be a writer.
No. But, you know, my dad did tell me when I was like 10 years old that I was going to be a writer.
Oh, did
Not that he was going to make me, but just that I was going to be.
Mm-hmm. He saw it.
He saw it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When can we expect a Bad Horse comic?
I think that you can expect an Evil League of Evil comic, which Bad Horse will be a part of course, in the summer or fall. It will be part of the collected Dr. Horrible comics. Will feature a new Evil League of Evil story.
Is the Evil League of Evil going to be a prequel or a...
It'll be a prequel. We have a lot imagined for the Evil League of Evil in the sequel, and I don't want to interfere with any of that. And, you know, I want to look at them before Dr. Horrible joins them and everything, because I think his joining them will change them.
For more Zack Whedon, follow him on Twitter as @ZDubDub. Well, that's it for this week. Tune in next week for an interview with Vasilis Lolos, artist on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Tales of the Vampires, and co-creator of Picsou. And I'll see you then. If you were stuck on a desert island, you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, would it be Terminator 3 or Terminator 4?
Wow. I think it would be Terminator 3. Terminator 3 brings up some interesting ideas about fate and stuff like that. Stuff that you could think about for eternity on a desert island. But it's a tough choice.